episode of Bittersweet Poetry. Now, in case you don't know what poetry is, well, we're gonna define it for you. Well, not really. See, you can keep all that for dictionaries. Here, we're gonna redefine how you feel. So if you think you've ever heard poetry before, well, you haven't heard it like this, okay? I am your host, Ludo. Get it right, because I won't say it again. Now, we have a lot of good things lined up for you today. And in case you still think that poetry is like, AIDS, you killed my mother, you are killing me right now. So, stay tuned. I'm sure you won't regret it. We'll turn all your past bitter experiences sweet. So, the first poet we have lined up for you was a former winner of the Bittersweet Poetry Slam. So, you know we're giving you nothing but the best, okay? And he is right from the beginning. He goes by the name of Genesis. So, I want to assure you, just like the name of the poem, that this is going to be worth your time. And it's called Cross My Heart.
So when I think about the future, I am filled with hope. So I cross my heart and hope to live. In a world where I am not judged by the tone of my skin or the clothes that I wear. In a world where I can walk straight and men do not give fellow men lustful stares. In a world where fathers love their daughters enough to protect them from despair. In a world where love is ever present even though pain is there, I cross my heart and hope to live. In a world where weight does not define beauty and the word love is not a snare. In a world where men do not beat women just because they're scared. In a world where pastors do not take advantage of the people in their care. In a world where the love of God is preached and men are called to prepare for eternity, I cross my heart and hope to live. In a world where education does not make us more selfish monsters of greed. In a world where the rich are not selfish and take advantage of those in need. In a world where race is just a color and not the status you've achieved, I cross my heart and hope to live. In a world where women cover themselves and treasure integrity more than fame. In a world where babies are not just byproducts of sex and mistakes with names. In a world where men are not slaves to public opinion. In a world where they take up their God-given dominion, I cross my heart and hope to live. In a world where women do not have to resort to prostitution to pay the bills.
Preach it now.
And men have better role models than Bill. In a world where treating women as sex objects is not recognized as a skill.
That's right.
Where relationships are not cages and commitment is the force. In a world where marriages do not end up in divorces, I cross my heart and hope to live. In a world where men are bold and courageous, where we have less Kims and more Kims. Less Kim Kardashians and more Kim Davies. More Davids and Pauls. More men that are bold. In a world where corruption isn't the norm. Where men take a stand, refusing to conform. In a world where we do not blame our government for the lack of responsibility.
Preach it now. Preach it now.
Where we treasure our heritage and treat our elders with dignity. In a world where little boys do not shoot their girlfriends and cut off their heads.
Preach it now.
In a world where my innocent classmate will not wind up dead. In a world where my innocent classmate will not wind up dead. And a few months later be nothing more than a cold case. Rest in peace, Ruth. I cross my heart and hope to live. To count all my gain as lost for the sake of he who died to save me from the grave. And if the day comes when my words do not communicate the fact that I'm saved, then oh my, I will cross my heart and hope to die.
In case you don't know, for all poetry lovers and people who are not so sure what happens when you hear good lines in poetry, you snap, okay? And my hands were so tired during the whole time. Genesis, that was a really good one. But next up, we have someone equally as passionate. That's going with someone I'm sure you love. Her name is Ludo, yeah? So this is a collaboration of two geniuses, if I do say so myself. Now it's Luca and Ludo, and they're going to give you something kind of fairy tale-like called Red.
She said, "Oh my, what big eyes you have."
Be careful not to get lost in his eyes. Don't let your guard settle. His iris like the woods and I, a breadcrumbeless Gretel. See, I saw those eyes. Like a chameleon, each time changed different colors and the different stories they fed. But today, all I see is red.
But can eyes really be big enough to capture the majesty of this image? And when I say, God, you're beautiful, it is not a statement of blasphemy. It is not taking the Lord's name in vain. It is giving praise where it's due. You see, your face is like a sponsored post on heaven's Facebook page. It gets attention. And a couple of days back, when Twitter went amok with memes about the designer, you might have heard about that. They were not talking about that idiotic rapper bandit. They were talking about the Holy One, who fashioned you with the fabric of perfection. You are a model of grace. Oh my, what big eyes you have. All the better to see you, my dear.
Because if your windows are not colored to see through to your black soul, then that makes you kind of see-through, my dear. Pure white when I raise my eyelids, they said, but today, all I see is red.
She said, oh my, what big ears you have. And all these big ears can hear is you nag, 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 nag. Woman, your voice is like the screams and pain of anguish in the darkest pits of hell. You talk like a choir or a praise team of demons singing, oh la la, we gon' torture you tonight.
But you once told me that my voice was like a melody that Jesus composed.
That's because my brain wasn't composed. It's called alcohol, darling. You see, T-Pain was the prophet of this pain when he said blame it on the alcohol. And I seem to be doing that a lot lately.
You see, your ears are bigger than mine. But all I can hear is the cheap promises of a man so high on pride. Tell me, if your words have no value, how can you afford such an ego? See, I'm tired of faking it.
What the heck are you talking about? You can't fake it. With the firearm I'm packing, I'll make even a robot come alive with all the sexual healing.
If you actually use your brain as much as you use that thing, maybe I'll think I married a man and not a porn star.
I'll bet that day, at least I'm a star.
In what style? The style where the cloud of your neglect collects the rain of my tears. I was talking about happiness. I'm tired of faking like I'm happy.
What do you mean? I pay the bills, I provide, damn.
And I don't?
Let me put it this way. When I say I miss your lips, I'm not talking about that mouth. Why don't you provide that?
Oh my.
Oh my, what big hands you have.
For cleaning this house so damn good, if Jesus was to come back, he would make it your home. For cleaning up your messes, and I don't just mean those nasty as hell drawers, I mean those financial messes from your poor spending and zero investment.
Oh my, what big heart you have.
From loving you like it was the only commandment, from crying these tears but you didn't know how to see. I love you more than you could ever deserve, but you still have the nerve to treat me like your doormat. And oh my,
what big feet you have. From being kicked around when I'm down. How do you kick a man when he's down? It's Euro 26 season, but instead of watching it, it's a living room situation as she's made my body a football. No, Cinderella's show of humility.
See, you know that man that walks into the house and leaves his footprints all over? He can't even realize you've laid the mat right out in front. Yes, he stains the floors of the house just like he stains the walls of my spirit. Skin to soul, I'm covered in his footprints.
Before all this, I forgot Chimama so walking down the aisle like royalty. But ever since we said I do, you've been holding at me against my own Will Smith. I don't remember ever being treated like a fresh prince.
Well, Fresh Prince, I guess this is a story all about how your life got twisted upside down. Because you met a girl that's smarter than to care to treat you like God when you never created her heir.
Oh my, what nerve you have. You see, sometimes we befriend the villain.
I choose to stay.
Stockholm Syndrome has you an infatuated victim.
Somehow he still means the world to me.
And when that pet snake that you've been keeping starts to expand, it's just preparing itself to consume the flesh of your vulnerability. And you start to say things that don't even deserve a stage, like, oh my, what big eyes you have. Oh, the better to see your weaknesses, my dear.
And you have excuses that don't even fit. 5 bullets later, after you made the kids orphans, how will you you justify saying we stayed together for the kids? So forget the stories about the boogeyman you were fed. Sometimes the monsters are laying in and not under your bed.
Abuse is a disease. It is an emotionally transferred infection spread by those who have an infatuation with pain. Staying in a verbally or physically abusive relationship is like diving into a swimming pool of broken glass and expecting not to bleed. It is boom, 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 boom. No, baby, that was the last time, I promise. Hit you, hit you, hit you, hit you. Baby, I'm sorry. Hit you, hit you. I'm doing this because it's for your own good. Hit you, hit you. Don't leave, don't leave. Love yourself hard enough so that you can leave. And love your partner hard enough to realize that they don't need a human doormat, a punching bag, or 5-bullet shooting session. They need Jesus and spiritual reconciliation. Let's put an end to domestic violence.
Okay, so for all poetry lovers, especially the young ones, I hope we didn't destroy your definition of fairy tales, okay? We just see things kind of different. So that was yours truly, Ludo and Luca, and that poem was called Red. I hope you loved it. Now, we hope you love the show as much as we do, because I mean, us at BitterSweet Poetry and Mfumo HD, we just love poetry. Now, speaking about that, you can search for us on Facebook. That's BitterSweet Poetry Zambia and Mfumo HD, and you can get updates on everything we're doing when you ain't watching the show, okay? So we're so glad you could check up on us, and we promise that next time the lineup is just gonna get hotter and hotter. But until then, BitterSweet, keep it here.